Okay, you guys, so today we're going to be adding on to our fraction busters. We're going to do a little bit harder of examples, so we're going to call this part 2. So fraction busters part 2, we're going to still be finding the LCM, and then we're just going to be working with different values this time. So we're just going to actually practice 3 examples. So example number 1, we're going to have let's do our original equation. So we have 3x plus 1 divided by 3 plus x minus 1 divided by 2 equals 1. So these are going to start getting a little bit more difficult. The reason why is because you actually have an expression here where you have the positive and the negative. Now we have 2 terms on top and 2 terms on top instead of just the 1. So when we go through this, I want you guys to first put parentheses around this immediately. Okay? That allows us to make sure that we are going to be distributing to each of those values. Now we're going to determine our LCM. Remember, you put a 1 underneath that doesn't have a fraction, so now we see what number 1, 2, and 3 all go into. You're going to start off with your 3 and see if 2 goes into it. Nope. Okay, so 3 plus 3 is 6. So then 6, does 2 go into 6? Yes. 1 goes into 6? Yes. So our LCM that we have here is 6. So we are now going to multiply all of our numerators by 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and divide out first like we normally would. How many times does 3 go into 6? Goes in twice. 3 goes into 3 once. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 2 1 time. And 1 goes into 6 6 times. And then we still have our 1's all in our denominator. So now I'm going to rewrite this, showing you guys that we are multiplying 2 times 3x plus 1. Make sure you keep those parentheses. Bring down your plus sign. Now I have my 3 and my x minus 1. You guys, just the format, you always put the 3 in front there. That's when we know how to distribute our coefficients to our coefficients on there. And then 6 times 1 is 6. So now this is a problem that we've been used to solving. We are going to distribute first. So I'm going to do 2 times 3x, which is 6x, 2 times 1, which is plus 2, plus 3 times x is 3x. There's just a visible 1 right there. 3 times the negative 1 is negative 3. And I'm now done distributing, can do my equal sign and my 6. Now I have to combine like terms on this side. So if I have 6, my like terms are my 6x and my 3x. So when I combine like terms, I get 9x. Then I have my 2 and negative 3. So you have negative 3 plus 2. You're going to be left with a negative 1 equals 6. See how much easier this is solving? Now get rid of all your addition and subtraction first. That's not touching the x. So plus 1 plus 1. We get 9x equals 7. And now we're going to get rid of our division multiplication. 9 is being multiplied by x, so we're going to divide by 9 in order to get rid of it. And we're going to leave our answer as a fraction as 7/9. Okay, now our example number 2, we're going to go ahead and, this one I actually give you guys parentheses already, but we're going to put them around anyways, even if we see it. Over 4 plus 3 equals 5x minus 1 divided by 2. Okay, let's make them all fractions. Make sure we have parentheses around the entire terms that we got they have 2 terms in them. And now we're going to find our LCM. Well, our LCM, you start off with the highest number, 4. Does 1 go into 4? Yep. 2 go into 4? Yep. So our LCM is 4. So now we are going to multiply everything by 4. So if I divide out now, just like we normally would, 4 divided by 4 is 1, 4 divided by 4 is 1, 1 divided by 4 is 4, 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So now I have 1's here, so if I have a 1 here, I don't have to do that because 1 times 3x is 3x plus 1. So I'm just going to rewrite my numerator there. And then we have a positive 4 times 3 is 12. And then 2, I am going to have to distribute over here. So 5x minus 1. And then this is the side I'm going to have to distribute, while I'm also combining like terms on my left side here. So my like terms, I don't have any more x's on the left side of my equation here. So I'm just going to write my 3x, but I do have 1 plus 12, which is 13. And then now I'm going to distribute this 2 to the 5x, so 2 times 5x is 10x. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And now I have variables on both sides, so I'm going to try and get my variables to one side and my numbers that don't have any letters on the other. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides because I want my x's to remain positive. So I have 13 equals 7x minus 2. Now I'm going to get my numbers to the left side by bringing over that 2 by adding it. And I get 15 equals 7x. Now my last step here that I'm going to have to do is divide, because I have a multiplication here. You're going to divide by 7. And now we can leave our fraction as x equals 15 over 7. Okay. And now our last example, number 3, we're going to go ahead and try to do. We have 7/5 plus x plus 1 over 10 equals 1 over 20. So again, go through, put parentheses around the things that have 2 terms on them, and then we're going to figure out our LCM. We go to the highest number, which is 20. Does 5 go into 20 nicely? Yes. 10 go into 20 nicely? Yes. So 20 is our LCM. Now we're going to multiply every single numerator by 20. And we're going to simplify these fractions first, though, so we don't have to multiply such large numbers. I don't want to multiply 7 times 20. But how many times does 5 go into 5? Once. 5 goes into 20 4 times. 10 goes into 10 once. 10 goes into 20 twice. 20 once. 20 once. Okay, now we have ones on all of our denominators here. Now I'm going to multiply my numerators. So 7 times 4 is 28 plus, and we're going to have, this is our 2 times, if you guys can start getting a little bit faster at this, I'm not sure if you're comfortable with it or not yet, but 2 times x is 2, 2 times 1 is 2, and then 1 times 1 is 1. So now I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms. I have 28 plus 2, I get 30 plus 2x equals 1. Now I have my variables all on one side, now I have to get my variables on the other side. So I'm going to subtract 30, my numbers on the other side. So subtract 30. I have a lot more negatives than I have positives, so we're going to subtract those numbers and keep that negative sign. And then we're going to divide since it was being multiplied, and we get x equals a negative 29 over 2. And we can leave it as a fraction. All right, you guys, I will go over more examples in class, and I will see you there.